Sit by the bar, all the drinks on me. Don't go too far. Sitting by the bartender, asked her.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And we here on 910 Sports Podcast once again. First and foremost, want to thank God for this opportunity to be able to come on here to have another great show. You know what I mean, and do our thing and have on great guests and to be able to interview and tell their story. So secondly, I want to introduce, you know what I'm saying, my right to my left hand man, you know what I'm saying, your baby mama's favorite radio host, you know what I'm saying, Jacob, the great. What's going on, man, player? I'm not sure if he can hear me. So, so yeah, he having a little technical difficulty on his side. So, can you hear me, Coach Paige?
I can.
Okay. So, so basically today, y'all, we got like an all around type of guy, man. He a strength and conditioning coach. He deals with AAU sports and does a lot of teaching and mentoring and helping kids be able to get themselves on track with their grades and things of that nature. Get them seen and get them, help them develop so they can go to the next level. So today, y'all, we got Coach Randy Paige in the building. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm blessed. How are y'all?
I'm good. Okay, so Jacob, you back up yet? So I think he's still stalled out. But so kind of give us your backstory. Like, tell us like how you got started. Like, it was a childhood thing where basically where you like
Okay.
start youth sports and all that kind of stuff. So kind of tell us what your beginning story is before we get into what you're doing now.
Okay, for me, I'm originally from a small town called Latta, South Carolina. For people that's not familiar
What's
with, that's
happening? What's
about
happening? What's happening, man? Once again, we back on now on a sports podcast. You can't hear?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay, so once again, man, we back on now on a sports podcast, man, bring you the best of sports media and interviewing some of the most influential people from around the globe. So, man, welcome, man. I'm glad to be on the show once again, man. Another day, another choice, another lesson, another blessing. You already know how it go.
Okay. So I had already introduced Randy, so Coach Paige, so he's gonna tell us his beginning story, and then you start getting to the questions. But he's gonna go ahead and tell us how he got started in sports as a youth.
Okay, well, for me, like I said, I grew up in a small community, small town called Latta, South Carolina. For most people that are not familiar with it, it's about 50 minutes to an hour west of Alberta Beach. Like I said, I grew up in a small community of roughly about 1,700 people. But I also grew up in a family full of athletes. So it's something that just didn't start with me. Had older cousins, uncles that have played and participated in sports, and those are the people that I kind of emulated and learned some things from when it comes to being an athlete. For me, played sports my whole life, basketball, football, and even in my younger years, soccer and baseball as well. But once I got to middle school, that's when I started concentrating on the two main sports, which is basketball and football. Played all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. Got to high school, was fortunate enough to play on some great football and basketball teams. Won some conference titles. Played on a team that won a conference title for the first time in close to 30 years. At the program. So that was something that was special and unique in itself. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to have great teammates, great upperclassmen when it came to leadership and stuff like that. And I know for me growing up, I just wanted to follow their lead, and I knew that they were going to tell me and show me the right way to go about doing things. So I just wanted to take heed to the stuff they was telling me. So, but good, like I said, man, just fortunate enough to play on some great teams and had a little bit success individually. Had opportunities to uh, at least be recruited by a lot of big programs, but this is where uh, the older version of Coach Page or Randy or whoever you want to call me comes into play because now I'm at a point now to where I can show kids and even younger adults to make sure they don't make the same mistakes that I made. I was good enough athletically to play in college, but I didn't qualify academically. So uh, I guess you could say that was kind of the lesser of two evils. But it was a learning it was a great learning experience for me. I learned a lot in the process, and the one thing you learn as you get older is God don't make mistakes. So you have two paths that you can take in life. You can allow it to define you, or you can use it to create better situations, not only for yourself, but for others as well. So I'm fortunate enough to be in the position I'm in now. Coaching AAU boys and girls basketball. I have several years of experience coaching at the various levels, from middle school up until the varsity level as well. So I guess you could say I have my hand in a wide variety of sports.
Okay, so basically, this is what I want to ask you. Ask you these questions because when you say AAU basketball, and I'm not, I wouldn't put it on one coach, one system, one anything. But this is kind of question, the curiosity I got that kills the cat type question. We see now in basketball, the NBA, especially landscape, where everybody wants to be Steph Curry. So your philosophy of coaching a team, are you still one of those coaches that try to teach the fundamentals of the game or whatever, and the inside out game, or you like more like pushing them towards to be the Steph Curry type style where everybody come and launches from 30 feet in. You know what I mean? So kind
You
of
know
tell
the
us.
the funny the funny thing about that is I'm learning as I've gotten older to it's okay to be able to blend both. Because for me, I'm always going to be old school because regardless of how shiny things look when it comes to behind the back passes or being able to shoot threes from half court and all that type of stuff, at the end of the day, if you still do the little things well, you can look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game, you still have a chance to win. So that those things are never going to change.
Mhm. Okay. So what kind of style player do you look for when you put together your team each year? Because I know you probably got kids coming in and out. You got some mainstays that probably play for you a couple of years. What type of players do you look to kind of put together your I can say perfect team, but about as close to perfect team that you could have?
Well, the ideal team for me would be a team that's interchangeable. I love to evaluate and recruit length. Um, because I want kids to be able to switch 1 through 5, even if need be, because that's where things are kind of trending towards now. So, but versatility on both ends of the court. But yeah, I think just as important too, you have to be able to uh, get along with each other to a certain extent off the court. Now, does that necessarily mean you have to be best friends? No, but you have to because for me, I've one of the things that I took pride in, even as a student athlete myself, was those lifelong relationships that were built with my teammates and even coaching, even coaches and even people in the community, and those fundamental principles haven't changed. We want all our teams to look at each other as like brothers or sisters, and build those relationships that are going to last, well beyond your playing days. And that blueprint uh, worked for us when we were in school, and it's still holding true to this day. So
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question. I'll send it over to Jacob after this. So when it comes to like the parents and being involved in the community with the kids that you're coaching, has it been a good experience? Has it been frustrating? What's your relationship with the parents of these kids?
well, I think that the unique thing about that question is, um, people be under the impression that simply because the time and the days on the calendar change that everything has changed. parents are still the same when it was when even when you and I were in school or even before then. Everybody's child is going to the NBA or going to the NFL or whatever the situation is, and the reality is that's not the case. There's nothing wrong with you having high expectation for your kids. You're supposed to, but also at the same time too, there has to come a point in time where you have to be realistic with yourself as well. Everybody's not going to play the same amount of minutes. Everybody's not going to play Division 1 basketball. There are some that can be great at playing Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, and JUCO. There's all different levels, but everybody's not going to be the same type of person, not going to be the same type of player. And the parents, they're going to have to understand that. Now, I've seen situations where parents have gotten out of control, like from a physical standpoint. I mean, but to a certain extent, that's kind of to be expected because in your mind, you want what's best for your child. Now, you think most of the time that you do know, but that ain't always the case. But you have to take the good with the bad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Jacob, you got some. I know you got some questions.
Yeah. But I just want to get back to Steph Curry and everybody wants to be.
You breaking up? Yeah, you breaking up. You breaking up. Yeah, you breaking up real bad. um. So, I'm give him a second to get his stuff together. So,
Okay.
so basically, okay. So, when it comes to that you say in the beginning, you talking about how you wasn't highly recruited, and you had to go through some pitfalls or some up and downs to get where you at,
Right.
just in your life, your story. So do you feel like that helps you, hinders you, or whatever when it comes to when you're talking to these parents, when you're talking to the kids about your story to say, just because, I wasn't highly recruited, I didn't have all the, all everybody come knocking at my door, but I'm still here doing what I'm doing, to get you to your next step, so I understand what you're going through. So how does that help you, hinder you? What's the whole story behind that?
Be honest, that's a great question. And to be honest, um, it was the perfect storm for me because when you going through it initially, you probably feel every type of emotion that you could feel. But like I said, with me being where I'm at right now in my life, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because, like you said, you can. And one thing you've learned too, dealing with parents and even kids, they'll appreciate you more if you're honest with them. So they don't ever have to worry about me sitting here having to sell them on the dream because I can sit here and tell them, if you make this decision, this is what's going to happen to you because I've lived it and I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the perfect storm, like I said, because all I really have to do is just be honest with them and just paint a clear picture uh, without blowing smoke, so to speak. And the kids and the parents, they'll appreciate that.
Okay. Go ahead, Jake. It's like you good to go. Okay. Still can't hear me. Jacob, you good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we hear you now. Go ahead.
So what you said about Steph Curry earlier, man. Uh, um, I think kids nowadays play way out of position. Everybody want to make you shoot threes. I mean, you
Right.
practice them, man, but I feel like coaches don't even have an or the organization that they're handling. I think they don't have it in. They don't say, well, no, that's not your position. You don't shoot threes. You know, you're not that type of ball player. You're you're on the block, low post ball player. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they just let kids do anything they want to do. So when you do that, you don't have no balance on your team. And so you got people now 7-2 shooting 3 pointers, and they think they more of a guard than they are a power forward. I think that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like man, you 6'11", and if somebody if they whistle on you, you'll fall down. You just as fragile as some northern bathroom tissue, but you want to shoot threes. Like no inside presence, no offensive rebounds, no defensive rebounds, man. You know, man, you got these dudes out there now. Their little sister take a charge before they will. It's sad. That's just my theory on
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because I'm a defensive guy myself. So, and I always preach and stress that too, man, because, you know, I can use the football analogy. All of us, we like to watch teams that can get up and score 50 and 60 points. But with me being a defensive guy, I don't mind watching a 17-10 football game.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, since you mentioned football, and we'll we get back to the basketball, who's squad?
At which level?
Professional.
To be honest,
NFL.
man. Okay. Well, we're gonna start the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens. This is one thing you're gonna learn about me quick. My teams kind of mirror each other because if you go from NFL to college, I'm gonna say the Miami Hurricanes. They be like, "Why are you a Hurricanes fan?" I'm a Hurricanes fan because of Ray Lewis and all the people that played beforehand, and I became a Baltimore fan because of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Those two teams are always going to be
Now,
parallel for me when it comes to that. If you ask me
now,
personally,
now, coach.
I'm gonna say this: you look like a Dallas Cowgirls fan.
You better be, you better believe
Right.
it.
That's right.
But you can say that all you want. But if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't be playing no football because you know we had to sign for y'all to get in there. For real, for real.
Look, man. At the end of the day, you
And look,
was
man, Coach
somebody.
Paige, Coach Paige, I know better than that, man. Because you was watching football way before. The Baltimore Ravens ain't really even been around that long, but you a Ravens fan, I can't talk to you about no football ever. Ever.
I am a diehard Ravens fan.
Man,
I'm gonna take it a step.
no.
I'm gonna take it a step
Anybody
further with you.
that's a Ravens fan, a Carolina Panthers fan, a Texans fan, I can't talk football with them. Because y'all ain't been around long enough. It makes no sense.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that, but I'm gonna say this though: the only reason you are a Dallas Cowgirls fan is because it's somebody older in your family was a Cowgirls fan, and it
No,
trickled down to
no.
you. Now tell me
Actually
I'm
not,
wrong.
bro. Actually not. My pops was a Redskins fan. My mama Redskins fan. My brother's a Bears fan. My baby
Oh
brother is a Cowboys fan, and my middle brother is a Chicago Bears fan. Not. I'm a Cowboys fan
oh
because
yeah, yeah.
when I was a young boy, I seen a fella by the name of Tony Dorsett run it back for 101 yards, and that's the rest history.
Oh yeah. You grew up in a house divided, so I already know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm right up the street from you because I'm a Washington fan, but I'm also a Miami Hurricane fan, huge Miami. But mine go back rooted way back before you. I was a Miami Hurricane fan back in the '80s when they was wearing the little tank top shirts or whatever. You know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to call it. I was a fan back then. Like we talking
I
about
mean,
Michael.
I can respect you being a Redskins fan. But
You know
the
what I mean? Like
old counter trouble with Joe
oh
Gibbs.
yeah. And then I've been a Redskins fan since Joe Gibbs, Joe Theismann. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
John Rick. But I'm gonna tell you why. Well, the main reason was because regionally I'm from North Carolina. Regionally, that was the team that they showed every weekend was Redskins or the Cowboys. So Redskins was I don't know if you remember back in the '80s when they would make a touchdown and all of them would get in a circle and they would jump in the air and do the high five. So that was like exciting to me.
I seen the highlights. Yeah, I did.
That was exciting as a kid to see that. So that drew me in. And I want to say something about Latson, South Carolina. Believe it or not, I go there at least. I used to when I used to move vehicles. I used to go down there to the that spot where we used to go get the Amazon trucks and vans down there in
Okay.
Latson. I go down there about 4 or 5 times a year to go get a van and Sprinter or whatever, and take not an Amazon, FedEx, the FedEx sprinters, and I would take them cross country or whatever, take them around the country. So I know all about Lassiter, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I've been down there a lot, hot. So I know about Lassiter.
That's just like you. That's like walking around saying you a Saluda Tiger fan, man. You can't do that.
Stop it, bro. Stop it, man. Stop it. I mean, but I can understand, man, because people from down y'all way hate all the time. So I understand. I understand. I understand, man. Like y'all ain't really had that much to be proud of, So I can understand, man. It's cool, man. So, but you better not let me see. You better not see. You better not let me see you got nobody 6'8" shooting on 3-pointers, though. If you do, I'm gonna fight your head off. Yeah, I'm gonna fight your head off.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I enjoy watching Saluda play, man. I ain't got no love for Saluda, man. Like that, because that's one of the few schools that can compete with some of these schools that's always playing in the state championship game. It's always good to see some new blood every now and then.
Yeah, you right. You know, we was down for a little while, man, but they finally got the program together, man. But man, we ain't got good coaches. I'm gonna tell you that now. The last championship we won, that was like what 2018. That was one off pure talent, raw talent. Boys that got in the backyard and played football with their daddies and their uncles. Facts.
Right.
It definitely,
Right. Yeah.
it definitely was some coaching. And see, that's the thing that these youngins nowadays don't know about, man. We used to play something called Bad Man Pick It Up. Yeah. And whoever picked the football up, either you gonna get hit and take that pounding, or you gonna be one of the fastest dudes in the neighborhood where can't nobody catch you. You know what I'm saying?
What you call it?
But see that's
Batman Pick It Up.
Okay, we call ours now for all the fans, all the people that's listening. We called it back in the day. That's not what we called it now. But we used to call it Smith Quill. That's what we called it back in the day. You know what I mean?
Y'all call it what?
Smith Quill. Yep, that's what we called it back in the day.
You know what, man? I got to be more careful. I got to be more careful.
I don't know what they call it.
Good God Almighty, man.
But that's what we call it in the middle school, high school days. So we talking about 80s and 90s.
We called it sandlot football.
You call it what?
We called it sandlot football.
Okay.
Yeah,
but Jacob, man, I'm gonna tell you why it was like that. But that was also during the time period where your parents sent you outside and you didn't come back in until the lights came on.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So tell us about
the time where you
go ahead.
Where you couldn't sit. The time when you couldn't sit in grown folks' face, you had to go outside and play, and those are the times where everybody in the neighborhood played together. Wherever the bicycles was, that's where everybody was playing ball at.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us more about the football program. Tell us more about the football side of things. So we kind of discussed the basketball. So tell us a little bit about your football. Like, what's your philosophy in the football? You like your running game? You like to pass all over the lot? What you like doing?
Well, that goes back to what I said earlier, man. I still have a lot of old school principles, man. For me, I see everybody running the spread now. If I was a head coach right now, I probably it would be a mixture. I would use some spread concepts, but I would also use some wing T, power I formations, man. Like I'm an old school dude. Like I'll spread you out, just run the football the whole game. I still want to run the football. I miss those days of having a fullback that's like 6'2", 220 pounds. You could just give him the football on 4th and 1. You don't have that now.
Mm-hmm. So we'll stop right there for a second,
You know
because
what I mean?
since we can get
Okay.
stop right there for a second. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal in the NFL with this running back market. You know what I'm saying? And being that you kind of old school, want to run the
Oh, yeah,
ball,
definitely.
what's your opinion on that? 'Cause that's just it saddens me, man. I'm hurt for them brothers.
Well, I'm I'm gonna take it a step further. I think the running back position is going to be extinct within the next 5 years.
Mm, mm.
And
Now,
won't nobody watch football
why you say that?
because I won't watch it no more. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's almost like it's a crime for you to line up in an I formation and run the football, man. Like that ain't gonna never change when it come to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and the reason why, what, I kind of agree with you almost, because I
Because think
said that.
about okay, think about this. Why not run the football? You got Derrick Henry lined up in the backfield. Who's gonna stop that?
Yeah, yeah. But see, I kind of agree with you, Coach, on that. And the reason why is because, and you'll know faster than everybody else. You have a first row seat on it, because you'll see kids come up through your program to be like, I'm not playing running back, because I know if I go to the NFL, I may get one contract and I'm done. Like, I ain't gonna, there's no longevity in me playing a running back, so I might move to safety or wide receiver or something else, because the running back game, game is out the door. The market is out the door. So you'll probably see it faster than everybody else.
or they might not. They might get to high school, get to the 10th grade after they play JV, and tell their dad, "I don't want to play running back no more, pops." And he might say, "Why?" He said, "Because the dude that's punting the ball or or kicking the ball off to our opponents, they make more than the running back in the NFL."
Mm, which is sad. And they a part-time player. You know what I mean?
Nah, all of those are great points.
Hmm.
He
Sad, man.
froze up.
It's pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sad. So,
Need that running
so
game.
right, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's just like the Cowboys. Like, yeah, I'm a diehard fan. That's my squad. But Jerry, Steven, and Charlotte got to be the three dumb stooges, not three stooges, the dumb stooges. Because the only reason why Pollard was able to get off like that, because uh, Elliott is the one who took the bruises from the linebackers and took the bruises, you know, from the defensive tackles from the nose guard. And so by the time they got through bruising Elliott, and Pollard come through with the shiftiness and the swiftness and the finesse, you know, he had already took the pounding, so he can do that. So you need a power back and you need a finesse back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and so popular to what people might say that he washed up. No, bro. No, he's not an every down back. But when you don't have nobody doing those crunch situations, when it's 3rd and 2, and
Mm-hmm.
you need somebody to go through that hole that don't mind taking a hit, that can go head on head with a linebacker or with a nose guard or a defensive tackle. Pollard ain't gonna be able to do that, bro. Pollard, he
No,
can't take that
no,
beating.
no. Nah. But see that goes back to the other elements when it comes to organizations. Goes back to the Department of Player Personnel and scouting and stuff like that. You have to those scouts got to be able to go out there and find people. If you can, you should be able to go out there and find a running back on the cheap that is hungry to just to be on the NFL roster. And like you said, that can get you those 2 or 3 yards every now and then and give your other running backs a blow. You have to do it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so I just think with
Yeah.
with the whole, cause I've been hearing all these old school running backs speak up, like Marshall Faulk, like Emmett, you know, like like Barry, you know, like Thurman Thomas, and they was like the NFL is going crazy, man, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody and Thurman Thomas talked about the three setback, where you got your running back, your fullback, and your wing back, and they talked about how effective it was, and now you want to give these QBs all this money, man, but Josh Allen's supposed to be top five, and he only been in the league 4 or 5 years, and he's already thrown 57 interceptions. Stop it, man. Top five with who?
Hmm?
Stop. That's almost 60
And I'm matter of
interceptions in
fact,
5 years.
I'm gonna hit home with this point too. Think about a lot of these high school programs in our state that's consistently playing for and winning state titles. What's another common thing with them? They keep 5 or 6 in the stash of stable of running backs. Man, look at Abbeville. Abbeville, you don't even know who's gonna get the ball every play.
Mm-hmm.
No, man,
You
Abbeville. Listen,
know,
man, I, I graduated in '93, right? And so Abbeville has had a consistent 5 rotation back. Even
exactly,
when
exactly.
my uncle told me, my uncle Tony graduated in 1983, bro. He said that Abbeville has had a consistent 5 back rotation forever, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and even locally for us, playing Lakeview. Lakeview has probably one of the strongest traditions in the state of South Carolina. For them to have such a small school, they always have 4 or 5 guys that can run the football. And you look up, you're like, man, look, they wearing us down because every a different person touching the ball, man. Like when you got that, you always have a chance. You should like your chances.
Man, it's just like when you, like you said, man, when you got that many people touching the ball in one game, man, that that killer defense, man. That killer defense. You know what I mean? That way one person ain't running like a dog. You constantly rotating them boys. And then you talking about Abbeville may have 4 backs, man, and all of them got about 800-900 yards rushing for the year.
Exactly.
In a high
Exactly.
school, man, 4 backs with 800-900 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of running.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And the funny thing is, you get and and you look at their playing style, and then they take their helmets off. You was swapping down. That same running back was at another high school the week before. You like, man, weren't you playing with somebody else last week? How you get to Abbeville this week?
Yeah,
Oh
you right,
wow.
man. You right, man. And
So let
and
me ask you.
so
Go
so
ahead.
I come before you mention this, man. I want to mention this right here, man, and I'm gonna say this right here, man. Running backs come in all shapes, sizes, and stuff like that, man. And so
Right.
I want to mention one running back that used to give the Cowboys hell. Fella by the name of Joe Morris that played for the New York Giants. Joe
Okay.
Morris was this little dude, low to the ground, looked like he got some pro kids cleats on, and but boy, when I tell you, man, fast, shifty, you could catch man low to the ground, man, like he was Barry before Barry, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he used to get Washington
Right.
held.
Yeah, Joe Morris, bro, he's bad, man.
Oh
Tough.
yeah.
I couldn't did him and his brother make the NFL?
Yeah, Jamie played for Washington. Matter of fact, Jamie was on the team. I want to say the '87 team that won the championship. That was our
Okay.
lead in '87 for Washington was Jamie Morris.
Okay.
I mean, so he was like I know he wasn't the lead back. He was at least the like the third down back. But yeah,
Right.
but he was on our championship team.
Right. And Joe won them 2 championships with Phil Simms. LT, Phil Simms, and
Mm-hmm.
all them boys. You know what I mean?
'86 and '90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
man.
I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to switch positions. For me, growing up, one of my favorite players was at the quarterback position, the late '80s, and he played quarterback at West Virginia.
West Virginia. Late 80s, West Virginia.
Major Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you went back.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I remember that name. I remember
yeah.
that name.
Man, I'm telling you, the first couple times I watched him play, I was like, yo, I want to be like Major Harris, man. Like, and I know a lot of the younger group, the younger generation never heard of him, man, but he was, for me, and I'll tell people this story all the time, like, he was Michael Vick before Michael Vick.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I could
He
buy it.
was Michael Vick before Michael Vick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get into these conversations all the time, man, with a lot of people, and they won't necessarily agree with it, but and I don't have no dog in the fight, but I always tell people, man, the best quarterback that ever came out of the state of South Carolina was Tony Rice. But they got different opinions.
Ooh.
So
Oh, that's
Ooh.
facts. That's facts, bro. The
Ooh.
state.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh
people forget about Tony Rice. Tony Rice was a beast.
Right, yeah, he's the best quarterback to come out of this state.
Okay. Oh, he from
And
South
see, and
Carolina?
see, and see with that,
yes, sir.
yeah, he's from Woodruff.
Okay. Okay. I
And
ain't know.
just think about it though, y'all too. Moving forward, like y'all can invite a couple more people on here, man. That could be like an 8-hour conversation, just that in itself.
Oh yeah,
What
Tony Rice.
about
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, definitely. I want that. Well, let me ask you this question. So, to pivot just a little bit, what do you feel about the whole college football alignment? Because they were saying today earlier, they were saying all week, it's getting so bad now, or however you want to look at it, bad or good, that it only may end up being with two major conferences left in college football by the end of the day.
that ain't gonna happen, man. That ain't gonna happen. Because that would make no sense, man. That would make no sense to have only two major conferences in college football. Division one college football? Nah, bro.
Well, I mean, it may not make sense, but the reason why it may happen, because you got to think, what are they about to do? They about to have a 12-team tournament. I think it's going to be bigger than that before too long because it's going to be too much money involved. So I think it's going to go from
You
12
talking about you
to
talking about college football?
yeah,
Yeah, we talking
it's
about
going
college football.
yeah. Well,
You know what? Because they maybe two or three. What do they call it?
That don't make no sense to move Clemson or Florida State to the Big Ten. That's dumb.
that's what because they talking about moving
And
Washington.
Miami's got a good too.
Yeah, Miami might be moving. Florida State, Washington, Oregon might be going to the Big Ten. So I mean,
Yep,
the way
Washington, Oregon.
yeah, because Florida
Honey
State,
to dictate all that stuff, but
But it's gonna make it so uninteresting to watch, though, man.
yeah, yeah,
It's
because
gonna
but
make
see,
it.
part of this Florida State saying that they don't see no road, no path with them staying in the ACC because I guess the way the money's split, they saying the
right.
revenue is not in their favor. So basically, they like Florida State, like we don't see no path for us to stay in the ACC because the money ain't
Well,
right.
I mean,
I can tell
I
you this:
can't.
ain't nobody in the ACC gonna make more money than Clemson. So if Florida State think they ever can make much money as Clemson making the ACC, that ain't gonna happen, brother.
But we just talking about football. What about the basketball side too? Look, what about the
I'm
Carolina?
going to say why are you willing to get rid of Duke and Carolina? Like you don't get no bigger than that.
They the biggest rivalry, and I looked at this the other day.
In
Carolina and Duke
basketball, bro.
rivalry is the third biggest. It's the third largest rivalry in sports, behind the Red Sox and the Yankees. I forgot the two soccer teams, and then it's Carolina and Duke. Now you know you huge when you right
That
behind soccer teams, and soccer is the largest sport, is the biggest sport in the world, and
I
the
can
most
I,
popular
I could go
sport in the
along
world.
with that. You're right. You're absolutely right about that, man. But greed is something else, man. Like this is all about greed, man. Ain't about these
Exactly.
teams and
Yeah.
their divisions, man. It ain't about that, man. And if I know anything, because I'm a Clemson fan, if I know anything about that alumni and them decision makers in 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 that upper deck of Clemson, man, they ain't gonna want to go to no Big Ten, man. They must offer them a
But,
whole bunch of money to go to that Big Ten.
but see,
Mm-hmm.
this my thing though, because for us, why are you willing to break up? Think about this. Thanksgiving weekend, you looking at what, Michigan and Ohio State,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Florida State, man, a lot of these rivalries and stuff, man. Because I know for me growing up, yeah, I know y'all can attest to this. Growing up, Thanksgiving weekend, it was always number one Nebraska, number two Oklahoma, or it was switched,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or it was switched. So and for you to sit here and say, well, money supersedes a Nebraska Oklahoma rivalry and stuff like that, like, come on, man, no.
and then Coach Page, they said if Clemson should go to the Big Ten, that they would no longer play Carolina, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Really?
There's no way in the
Yeah,
world.
That don't make no sense. Like
and
this.
None.
and that's the biggest rivalry in the state of South Carolina, but that's been
In the
national
state, yep.
televised for the last about 55 years, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy. They don't even make. That'd be like Florida and Florida State stop playing because of I mean they probably still keep playing because they're in different. They've been different conferences forever anyway. Unless Florida State went to like the SEC. I know that.
Well, I mean, it's similar to some years back. It probably been a couple of decades ago when Louisville and Kentucky stopped playing in basketball. Why would you do that?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. You right.
Yeah,
Why would
and
you
that
do that?
Carolina Duke rivalry, they play twice a year. So are you only gonna have if they in two different divisions or two different conferences? Can you still have that twice a year matchup? Everybody, Carolina Duke fans look forward to that the twice a year game. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
That
gonna
that
take it a step further. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
take it a step further with Duke and Carolina. And on most good years, they played each other 4 times in a year, twice during the regular season, once during the ACC tournament, and then somewhere along the lines in the NCAA tournament.
yeah. I know they play at least a lot of times, at least time a year. And like I said, that's one of the
Yeah.
biggest. Put it like this: I'm a Carolina fan, diehard. Carolina could go 1-30, but if that one win come against Duke, we got bragging rights for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? That 1 or 2 wins come against Duke, especially when we beat the Final Four. When we beat them in the Final Four, I tell all Duke fans, y'all can't talk to us for at least 5 years. When we beat y'all in the Final Four, that was enough for me. And if you look at the Duke and Carolina rivalry, I'm gonna tell you how close the rivalry is. The last 100 games, it was a point where they played 100 games over the last whatever many years. The record was 50-50 against each other, and the point differential was even. So basically, it was like, let's say both teams scored a 1,720 points, and the record was 50-50 against each other. That's how close that rivalry is. Ain't no rivalry in sport that close.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I agree. I'm gonna tell you this. This probably These two are probably a tie. I'm gonna say the '91 UNLV team and the '85 Georgetown Hoya team.
Okay. Uh, I agree with you on all of those. I definitely can do that. I definitely agree with you. But yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on and chopping it up with us, man. You know what I mean, and get into it all with all these different sports because we don't really, get these type of conversations on every show. So it's good to have somebody understand and know sports from back in the day. So, but just gotta tell everybody where they can find you at, my man, and how we can keep up with your program and all that kind of good stuff.
Man, just you can reach out to me on Facebook, Randy Page. If not, man, if you're on Facebook, just join the South Carolina High School Sports Group, man, and just chop it up with all. You just feel free to reach out to me, man, and we can go from there, man. I'm excited. I'm glad that y'all gave me an opportunity to jump on the show, man, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. So before we go,
so man, So I want to say this outcome before we close out. I want to say, the NFL season coming up, and so I'll be reaching out to have you as a special guest co-host.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
So before we get out of here, everybody, tune in for Village Global Network. That's our new network that we on. 8 stations, 144 countries. So please continue to watch us, tune in. If you want to book us for anything, you can hit me up for this network. For this show, IconE910sports@gmail.com. That's for bookings or interviews or whatever you want to do. If you want to come on and sponsor the show, whatever, hit me up on those 2 platforms. Follow us at IconE, Instagram at IconE19. And Jacob, what's yours?
King Jacob, 1974.
Okay, so you follow us at those two platforms, and keep supporting, and I'm saying, everybody have a blessed weekend. We in Kentucky this weekend, cut close, Big V doing big things. So y'all have a blessed and wonderful weekend.
Peace.
I walked in the place, sat by the bar, all the drinks on me. Don't go too far, sitting by the bartender.